Welcome to another great episode of American Rifleman Television. The most produced small arm by the United States during World War II was the U.S. caliber .30 carbine. This is a gun that had a great history during the war, and it's even still being made today. For our Rifleman review this week, we'll shoot the Springfield XD Elite, the latest version of that pistol. When World War I broke out, the United States didn't have enough handguns, so they went to a couple of manufacturers to get revolvers, including Smith & Wesson with the model of 1917. But right now, let's focus on the M1 Carbine.
The development of the United States Army's light rifle, or what would eventually become the M1 Carbine, I think is one of the most spectacular stories in the history of firearm design.
Yeah, David Carbine Williams, perhaps the only gun designer that's ever had a feature-length movie made about him, starring Jimmy Stewart, had actually killed a deputy sheriff during a run on his still in North Carolina. A little bit of controversy whether he actually pulled the trigger or one of his associates, but anyway, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison and hard labor, and eventually got commuted down to about 9 years he served. But while he was in prison, he actually worked out the fundamentals for what became the foundation for the M1 Carbine.
It was back in 2007 that Springfield Armory first introduced the XDM line of polymer frame, striker-fired semi-automatic handguns. And these were intended to be kind of the upgraded match variants of the popular XD line. Over time, the line came to include a variety of chamberings as well as configurations from a 5¼ barreled match pistol all the way down to a 3.8 barreled compact or concealed carry variant.
My favorite museum story about 1917 Smith occurred back in 1989, right after I started working at the museum, and I was the guy that got to see and actually interact with a lot of the visitors when they came in. And one little old man came in one day with a brown bag full of books. And I pulled them. I said, "Well, thank you." And I pulled them. They were all about Smith & Wesson. And it turns out they were all autographed to D.B. Wesson. I said, "Where did you get these?" He said, "These are Dad's."